Hello and welcome to Overanalyze. My name is Levi and today I'm going to be covering District 8 1A. Now I am excited to be able to cover this district. Last year this district was extremely good, especially in the playoffs, but I will get to that later. First, the location. So the location of this district is kind of a smattering of towns in the general area between Midland and Lubbock, so a little bit further away, just kind of again, about in the general area between Lubbock and Midland. Alright, so the teams, we got Sands, Klondike, Grady, Loop, Dawson, and Wellman Union. Alright, so there was actually a lot of movement in this district. So Borden County, as I covered earlier, they went to District 4. Garden City went to 11. I'll cover them in a couple of days. Midland Texas Leadership went to 2A, District 6. And then Loop, Wellman Union, and Dawson all came in from District 7. So that is no net change, still at 6 teams in the district. So this district was extremely dominant in the playoffs last year. In total, they went 11-2 against all other districts in the playoffs. How do you do that? Well, a couple of different things happened. First, Sands, they won the state championship. I'll get to that later. But second, 2 teams made it to the regional quarterfinal in the same part of the bracket. Both Klondike and Borden County made it to the regional quarterfinals where they faced off against each other. Borden County actually took that one. And then they lost later, and then the other loss was a first-round loss to Whiteface by Grady. All right, so they put in 2 teams to the regional tournament last year. They had 3 in the regional quarters. That is as close to perfect as we're probably going to get in 1A. As I'll cover in months from now, the district in 6A actually did that, but that is for October. All right, let's get into these teams. So Sands, they won the championship. Incredible, great for them. They had 3 losses all year. They lost to Canadian by 3, Sedan by 1. That was their first game of the season, and Martinsville by 18. And those are their only 3 losses. That is an incredible lineup. They actually had they even played a lot of games too. It's not like they only played a handful of games before going into district. Their wins, besides the sweeps of both Borden County and Klondike in their district, includes beating Nazareth twice. They beat New Home, and they beat Friendship. Friendship, 6A school, ranked actually by TABC and TXHS-GBB at the same at that point in the season. That doesn't happen. 1A teams don't beat 6A teams, especially good 6A teams. So this is a special team. So a couple of their playoff stats. Their defense was absolutely insane. I was kind of covering the play-by-play on whenever they played Nazareth in the regional semifinal game. And Nazareth scored 1 point in the first quarter and 0 points in the third quarter. That is absolutely incredible defense. They never allowed more than 33 points, and they were consistent. They had 33, 32, 31, 29, 27, and 9. And that's off my head, but it was somewhere around there. Conversely, they never scored less than 42 points. That's usually a good recipe for winning. So they were extremely dominant. They had a total point differential of a plus 188 in 7 games. Plus 188 in 7 games. An average of a 27-point swing. Their closest game was an 11-point game against Valley. It's unfair that they were so dominant. They were so good. Thing is though, they do have 5 seniors on their 11-player roster, which is unfortunate. But I mean, Sands, they've been they've been up in the ranks for a while now. I think they can recover from this. They have some serious minutes coming back. It's not like those. I don't think those were their 5 starters. But still, 5 out of 11. That's quite a bit. Maybe not as dominant next year. But I do not think it would be a shock to see them in the state tournament for a second year in a row. Just my take on that. Alright, so next we have Klondike. So Klondike, they lost to Borden County 3 times in the season. Twice in district, and then in that regional quarterfinal game. The thing is, though, their second time they played in district and in that regional quarterfinal game, the games were decided by 4 points. So they were very close to beating them at least once. So they went 6-4 in district, good for 3rd. Of course, the district was kind of insanely stacked. So I don't feel too bad for them. But with Borden County leaving, that does give them a good chance to move up to 2nd place. So their roster, 3 seniors and 9 players, but I think most of their minutes are coming back. I say most of their minutes, I feel like that's the best way for me to explain that. Okay, and then, alright, so next we have Wellman Union. So Wellman Union, they made the playoffs last year for District 7. They faced Borden County in the first round. I'm going to fact check that. Yes, they did face Borden County in the first round and lost by a lot. So, but that does not mean that they cannot grab a playoff spot, similar to how last year they just kind of they beat all the lower teams of the district and they took that 3rd spot. I think they could do that again. They don't have a complete schedule, but I do have a roster, at least some of a roster. There's only a few graduation years listed on there. So they have at least 1 senior, and they have at least 4 people coming back. Other than that, I'm not totally sure. I don't want to spread misinformation or anything. But I do think they could make the playoffs. I think that of the bottom 4 teams, I think they are definitely at least one of the top 2, maybe the top of those bottom 4 teams. Alright, so next is Grady. So Grady almost beat Whiteface in the first round, the by-district. It was a 6-point game, so certainly a very close 4-1 game. They don't have a complete roster. It says 1-5, but they definitely played in a playoff game. UIL affirms that. Their roster has 3 seniors on a 13-player roster. So I guess that means they could do it next year as well. That's really all I have on them. I didn't have much after Sands or Klondike, but I had enough for those 2 to do that. And then, so yeah. Alright, so my final predictions for the season, I've got Sands going 10-0. No surprise there, really. Klondike at 8-2. Grady 5-5. Wellman Union 5-5. And then Loop, I've got 2-8, and Dawson 0-10. The only split I have is Grady and Wellman Union up there at 3rd and 4th. I have them tying. I don't have enough for Loop and Dawson, but from what I could gather, I think they'll probably be at the bottom for this year. I could be completely wrong on that though, but from what I could gather, that is where I feel it would be best to put them for the most accurate results. So that's really all I have on District 1A. Again, I was super excited to do this one. This was a super stacked district last year. Borden County leaving means that it's not going to be as dominant, but I think that, like I said earlier, it wouldn't be a huge surprise to see Sands in the in the state tournament. And I don't think it would be a surprise to see Klondike in the regional tournament. I'll cover all that whenever I do the 1A playoffs later. Actually, very close to the start of the season. So yeah, that's really all I have for this district. Tomorrow I'll do District 9 1A. I'm gonna start Region 2 tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. All right, so yeah, thanks for watching.